Okay, so I'm hoping that this does not look like lengthwise what this actually is. This is going to be a 2-in-1 recording because I never did a chapter walkthrough for 1052, but 1053 is out now, so I'm just going to kind of lump them into one video and bite the bullet. Okay? So, 1052. But before we talk about the chapters, we have some new things. We're on hiatus now, currently, after 1053 comes out, for a month. And apparently Wano, or at least this saga, this arc, is over. We're still on Wano, spoiler alert for 1053, by the end of this chapter. So, it's very interesting that we're apparently going into the next arc immediately. But, yeah, we don't get a post-Wano arc. That's what these 2 chapters have been. Literally. I'd say 1051 was the wrap-up to the raid. 1052 and 1053 are our Wano party arc. That is it. So, now we can actually talk about it. 1052. Cover story is Caesar failed to escape the island in time, and the German siblings seemingly notice him. That's it. We start with the Gorosei in Mare Joie in 1052. We are doing 1052 first. We start with the Gorosei on Mare Joie, talking about 2 emperors have gone down, defeated in the same battle. This is not a matter we can cover up. The information will be all over the globe eventually. And we see that the Gorosei are not stupid. They're putting together Wano is not opening at all. And Zunesha just kind of walked away into the mist and won't destroy the world government ship, which is really weird. But apparently CP0 was able to update the world government. And then we go to what is the first of 3 deaths in 1052. And it's quite possibly, I'm willing to say, a 1% chance that Hawkins is not dead after this. Because you find out that after everything that happened, the guy that had the 1% chance of surviving was him. And the last panel we see of him is his body slumped against the wall and then his hair. So, like I said, 1% chance that he comes out of this alive. That is it. We see that the education system is getting a revamp. That they're actually teaching about Kozuki Oden, probably the entire story about what happened. People are finding out what actually happened behind the scenes. That Komurasaki was actually Hiyori. That the Kawamatsu was the one that saved her. That fucking Denjiro was the one that went undercover as Kyoshiro for 20 years. They're all putting it together. And we get to see that they're building a temple on the top of on a hill with a view of the Flyer Capital, just like the shrine of Rima, the god of the blade. Only this one will honor Lord Oden, and surrounding him, all the daimyo who fought for this country, starting with Lord Yasui, plus Ashura and Izo, which this is something that I brought up in the 1051 thing because of the shadows down the sides and everyone that showed up. Izo and Ashura were not there. And the fact that Oda did this, killing off 2 of the vassals, when there were theories that all the vassals were going to get out, but also theories that all the vassals were going to die by the end of the raid. This isn't worst case scenario, but this is dark, even for Wano. And Wano has been a fairly dark arc this entire time. And listen, I'm a week late to this, so I'm not going to bring up the fact that Izo once said that he failed to kill himself or have an honorable death before And I'm not going to forget the fact that Ashura and Izo were the ones that stopped believing or left Wano, even though I just did. We see that Onimaru is actually excited, and Marco is fully willing to let Izo be buried on Wano because Marco is the only, maybe not surviving, but he's the only Whitebeard pirate that we still see. Like, we don't know where anyone else is. We know Ace is dead, Whitebeard's dead. We can probably guess that like Juzo, I'm forgetting everyone else, Vista, probably all the commanders are off somewhere else after they lost the payback war. And that's it. We see that Yamato is not eating because, we'll find out later, Yamato promised to not eat until Zoro and Luffy woke up. And as Hiyori fucking drop kicks Momonosuke, saying that they have woken up. And they wake up asking for two things in particular. Luffy wakes up asking for meat, and Zoro wakes up asking for booze. What did we expect? And we see that they're pretty much having their Wano party now, for lack of a better example. But Momonosuke straight up says, Luffy, Zoro, don't eat too much. Now that you're awake, the entire country is going to hold a feast. And Luffy and Zoro look at him, and it's like, who the fuck are you? And they don't realize that Momonosuke is Momonosuke. And we see that Momonosuke does not get the same treatment as before. He does get fucking punched for touching Nami's tits, which, I mean, hey, I guess we had to kind of come back to showing that he's mentally an 8-year-old. But the shot, a lot of the character development I thought he had, like a lot. And we see that Sanji and Brook are kind of conniving and haha, get wrecked. Yamato puts a tray on Momonosuke's head and says, he kind of looks like Odin. And then we can just kind of go through the rest of the chapter. It's mostly just some catch-up. We do get a kind of cool moment between Sanji and Zoro, where Zoro straight up says, I've come back from the pits of hell to kill you, which is a reference to Sanji asking if I go, basically saying, hey, if I'm not me by the end of this, you can kill me. And they've always kind of had their back and forth, obviously. And then we get the very interesting scene that actually, this scene is the one that I am secondary most excited for in the entire chapter. And it's the bath scene, which is, I'm not excited for the obvious reasons of haha titties. I'm excited because this is a big thing for Yamato. I don't know how else to go into this. We see that the men's bath and the women's bath, that's it. Like, two separate panels. And in the men's bath is Zoro, Chopper, Yamato, Luffy, Nekomamushi, Brook, Sanji, Jinbei, and Momonosuke. But in the women's, there is Shinobu, Nami, Toka, Tommy, Hiyori, it looks like Izo, and the Speed, and Carrot. But the main thing is Yamato's in the men's bath, and this kind of feels like if there was ever Oda giving us a definitive answer to what Yamato's whole gender pronoun issue thing, that whole situation, this feels like it's because it literally says men's bath, women's bath. You don't need to draw attention to the fact that it's one and the other. You can just show it and you can assume, okay, it's the men, but Yamato's there. No, very strictly point out, men's bath, Yamato's in it. Take it as what you will. I'm going to put it as Yamato, or Oda's trying to put Yamato as a male, at least in the reader's mind. And we see that back on the Thousand Sunny, the General Frankie is back up to normal. The ship is back up to shape. Everything's going good. And we see that actually some of the kid pirates are kind of mingling with the Straw Hats. And then Law kind of points out the fact there will be replacements for the 4 emperors. There will be bounties and there will be everything. Then Apu appears and gives them exactly what they wanted. Bounties and the new emperors. And now we're coming into the part that made me the most excited for this chapter. And, again, not really a spoiler because the chapter's been out for a week. It's Ryokyugu at the very end, using a flower propeller to fly as his source of transportation. And we get to see something that I'm going to bring up next chapter, but we get to see that he's disobeying Akainu. He's just straight up saying, I already told you, I'm in the air. Oh, I can see Wano ahead. And Akainu tells him, don't you dare make anything worse. And he's like, yeah, I know. I have a very vague feeling he does not know, or he knows, but he doesn't care. Because of something that happens in the next chapter. We'll see. While it loads, I should probably give my final thoughts on 1052 before I jump right into 1053. Also, I will do the stuff. 1 second. It's this, and then this, and then this, then this, and then it's this, I think. And then it's... Hold up, 1 second. Where's that last text? Sorry, I have my OBS horribly managed. Let me move New Emperors to here, because that's the name of this chapter. I have it as chapter title. I'm an idiot. Remove. So, very obviously based off of the name of the chapter and the picture that I have up on screen, we find out who the new emperors are. But before that, there is chapter before that. One Piece was on the cover of Shonen Jump, and it is something advertising Film Red. And then we got a color spread, and it's something for the new game. So this is a lot of One Piece stuff coming out at once. Like, we're getting more news on the game, we're getting more news on the movie. But the manga itself is going on hiatus after this chapter, like I said at the beginning of the last one. But this thing, because I do intend on getting Odyssey. Once a few reviews come out, I see what I'm thinking of the reviews and stuff and the gameplay. But so far, if the long-haired white guy, or the long white-haired guy, is playable, he looks like he's going to be my favorite, because he has, like, I want to say 7 shot guns that look kind of like revolvers. His guns just look cool. But the game looks very interesting. It's an RPG, so I think a One Piece RPG could work. And again, we start a chapter in Mare Joie, no cover story, and people are pissed, mainly the Gorosei, that they have printed the picture of Luffy in Gear 5th, and they did not remove the D from his name. And, oh, would you look at that? They swore up and down that they tried to contact the printers, but it's no use because Morgans is printing it as is because this will sell. To quote him exactly, the gears of the world won't stop turning. I won't let their propaganda slide when the real story is this thrilling. And then we get to see the first big panel, but with the build-up text. The bombshell news of the defeat of the Emperors, Big Mom and Kaido, spread very rapidly around the world. The 3 captains responsible for ending their decades of dominion were all issued an extraordinary bounty by the government. Monkey D. Luffy, Eustace Captain Kidd, and Trafalgar Law are now worth 3 billion berry apiece. Which I think shows something that happens later, because Law and Kidd are put, bounty-wise, at the same level as Luffy. We know that bounties are not the be-all, end-all, and if there's ever going to be a chapter or an example to show it, it is this. Law and Kidd, they are both extremely strong, yes, but they struggled to fight an already injured Big Mom. And let's be real, they took her down in more of a removing her from the fight way, not a total defeat knockout kind of way. But Luffy, yes, Kaido was beaten up a lot, significantly more than Big Mom. He had to fight the vassals. He had to fight Yamato. He had to fight a lot of people. He had to fight Zoro. But Luffy knocked him out. Before he goes under the magma, you see his eyes are white. He transforms back to his basic form. That is a big hit. So if there's ever an example that bounties are not the be-all, end-all of power scaling, this is it. Also, this chapter really just fucks up power scaling in general. Because we see that Kid has run off, and Law says things are getting complicated. But I'll come back to the power scaling fuck up when we get there. I'm saying a lot. But then we see that the chef for the Shogun, I'm going to assume, is cooking all this food and has been triple checked for poison. And it's getting served to the Straw Hats. Except it's only Jinbei. Jinbei being the only Straw Hat that apparently could wait for the feast. Because everyone else is out on the town eating. Because it's all free. And God, I'm going to say it. I love seeing Yamato with the group doing this kind of stuff. Like, if there's ever a way of showing us that Yamato is effectively a member of the crew, this is it. But I'm still waiting on that Luffy quote, I don't want Kozuki Oden, I want Yamato. That is what I am waiting for before I say that Yamato is a member of the crew. That is it. And then we have Hiyori apparently playing a song with Brooke, and she's playing Moon Princess, and everyone's really ecstatic about that. And then we cut to Robin and Tengu-san, and Robin is messing with the Kokeshi dolls that apparently he made, and he tells us, I ended up in prison down here for a number of years. I took the smithing because I had a talent for it, but it was just a hobby. Governing is such weary work after all. He removes his mask, and it is Kozuki Sukiyaki. Sorry. Otherwise, the father of Kozuki Oden is alive. And Momo doesn't know. Hiyori probably doesn't know. But he straight up says, how could I possibly show my face now? I am the one who allowed Orochi to come to power. I was barely able to escape this room by the time I was barely able to escape this room. By the time I had, Oden was already dead and Wano had changed. I contemplated committing seppuku there and then. And that's when Robin interrupts. And not like a rude way, but more of a interjecting way. Not trying to be rude, but being like, hey, I need to know this. And she just straight up says, Tengu-san, very important, not referring to him as Kozuki, not by his actual name, but by Tengu. And she says, it should be somewhere in this country, the ancient weapon Pluton. At least that's what the Poneglyph said in Alabasta, or Arabasta. This is the first chapter in a while, I'm pretty sure it's the only one that's referenced Alabasta in a while, that explains the whole the RL thing. I'm not going to read the thing. Apparently, TCB Scans has their preference. Viz has its own. But Tengu just straight up says, yes, it is here. And then we cut to the part of this chapter where I'm going to kind of go off the rails for a bit. We go to the former prison mine of Udon, and we see that a bunch of the prisoners are impaled with vines/spikes. And I don't mean impaled like, oh, it kind of just went through the side of their stomach. No, these are going through, like, straight up through the chests, covered in blood. That is it. And we see King is stabbed, and so is Queen. And apparently it is, like, sucking the nutrients out of their bodies. And, a certain someone that, it's fucking real cute. It's Green Bull, okay? Makes a statement, give it a rest already. At my rank, if I'd lose face if I let a few commanders like you get the best of me. The Navy doesn't have manpower to waste on the mess you've left us. Not that I expected much of you bozos. And then we get the full shot of Ryokyugyu, like the debut. And everyone was kind of expecting him to look like Zoro, because there's that whole Zoro Ryokyu. Everyone's grasping at straws for Zoro to be related to someone. I get it. We're in Wano. We need it eventually. Probably. Or not. Zoro's heritage doesn't need to really be revealed. But he makes the comment that I will say is very Zoro-like. That booze wasn't anything special. You should have let it age longer. And he calls into the marine ships and says, "Bring a warship over. Don't tell Akainu I'm here. Got it?" And to quote him exactly in the TCB, "I've always dug his style. No half measures. I'm itching to get his approval." Which, with what we've known about him for a while, Ryokyu, also known as Aramaki, I at least assumed that he was going to be more of a practitioner of lazy justice, like Akiji, Kuzan. Maybe a little bit like Kizaru, where he's kind of laid back, does what he's told, but doesn't exactly get excited. But no, he is apparently one of Akainu's biggest fans. And he straight up says, he's sure to give me an attaboy if I bring him Luffy's head. And he laughs to himself. And then we get to see that they are living it up in the Flower Capital. With Luffy, is it Luffy? Someone is saying, "One more time from the top. To the ninja, pirate, mink, samurai alliance. To the retainers, Yakuza, and the rest of Wano. Way to go. All of you fought great." And then we get a very interesting panel of when Yamato was still carrying Luffy and Momonosuke was still in dragon form. So this is before he made his debut to the people of Wano. And it's Luffy saying, "Don't tell anyone in Wano about me, because I don't want to be the hero." Basically saying, "Hey, Momo, take the credit." And then we see Kid is rushing Luffy, and he's swinging a punch, and we're kind of wondering why. Like, why? Fireworks go off, everyone's drinking, all the citizens have cups. It's just a really nice double-page spread. It's really nice to see everyone kind of happy, excited. It's nice to see Zoro drinking. Like, yeah, he asked for booze last chapter, but this is like him drinking in a social situation. But we might be a little curious as to why Kid is so freaked out about Luffy in particular, because they all got the same bounty. Why should Luffy be the one he's going after? And Kid straight up says, "I came to kill you. I don't really know what's going on the outside, but they've announced the names of the new 4 emperors." And before I share my thoughts on this, I would like to bring up the fact that most everyone thought that the 4 emperor system was going to go down. Like, it was going to break apart because you just took out 2 emperors. That only leaves Blackbeard and Shanks. But Shanks isn't really a threat to us. Like, us as the viewers. That'd more so be Blackbeard because he's the final... He is built up to be the final enemy. But Luffy was the 5th emperor. So when 2 go down, would you just cut the entire system up? Or would you bring in the guy who you already said was strong enough to be in that, and then bring in someone who you think also was in that, by the name of Buggy the Clown? Because our new emperors are Buggy, Shanks, Blackbeard, and Luffy. It's really cool to see Luffy as an emperor. I don't think that I've properly digested that. I think I'm more so caught off by the fact that Buggy is an emperor. Like, yeah, it's a gag, okay? We all get it. Ha, funny. The clown guy is all... Okay. I'm not even going to try to do the whole... I understand it. Yes, Buggy has always bullshitted his way through stuff. He bullshitted his way through Marineford. He bullshitted himself into getting a really strong crew. He's always done that. But this carries heavy repercussions for the world, possibly. Last time we saw Buggy, he was running from the Marines because they were cutting up the warlord system. And I've always been of the opinion, if Buggy were somehow to become an emperor, this exact situation would have to happen, if not something similar. All of the warlords get captured, leaving Buggy as the only one still free. And by saying similar, I mean Mihawk, Hancock, and I have no other clue who else, but a few of the warlords could potentially get out. I could see Mihawk joining up with Shanks' crew, being like, "Hey, man, we're from what we know, they're pretty friendly to each other. Mihawk acts kind of like an asshole, but like Shanks would be willing, assuming that his personality hasn't completely shifted since early One Piece. But like Mihawk could join up with Shanks, at least for some like short time protection. Hancock has an entire island of people to fight off the Marines, even though Kobe was coming through. So like that's not really a fight that Kobe can lose plot wise. That needs to further his development. I can't really think of any of the other warlords that would be an issue. Moria kind of went down like a bitch against Luffy. Not like a bitch. He was a good fight, but like, if pre-time-skip Luffy took him out, there's no way in hell he doesn't get caught by the Marines eventually. But Buggy has always been able to avoid the Marines, anything consequential happening, anything at all. Like I said, he bullshitted his way to becoming a warlord. Who's to say he didn't bullshit his way to become a fucking Yonko? And the next part. Buggy being a Yonko kind of throws a wrench into the whole power scaling system. Because the way the One Piece fandom looked at the Yonko was, these guys were top of the top power level. And now we have Buggy. Who, yes, Buggy is actually strong. He presented a fight for early One Piece Luffy. But there's no way in hell he is actually Yonko level. Maybe he is. Maybe something happened where he became Yonko level. I don't know. I don't think so. But if you think about it, Alvida, the acrobat, the dude on the fucking lion, those are now Yonko commanders. Those fucking idiots. I don't know if they're still in his crew, but those guys were once in a crew led by an Emperor of the Sea. That's just insane to me. Legit. And then we see, I'm moving past the Emperor reveal that shell-shocked me so hard. We see that Ryokyugyu is outside the Flower Capital, near where Onigashima landed, and he straight up says, they're really going whole hog on the music and festivities. Well, we Marines aren't in such a good mood, especially since the rest of the world is such a mess right now. Meaning, there has to be some big changes happening, like, in the world. Yes, the warlord system is done, emperors are changing, Wano is getting actually put into the hands of someone capable that won't drive it into the ground, but that's just what we know. Who's to say that, like, fuck it, who's to say Blackbeard is an issue right now? He could be completely fucking, like, down, basically out of it. But this comes back to an idea that I've had for the end game of One Piece, which I guess I can bring up now since this was the last chapter of what we will consider the Wano arc, because apparently we're on hiatus going into the final saga. With Ryokyugyu being here, this is a Marine threat. Nope, there's no way of sugarcoating it. He is a Marine. He is here in Wano. He is going to try to kill Luffy. Maybe he doesn't even get close. Maybe he actually is a threat. That doesn't matter. The issue is he is a Marine on Wano. This is not going to be a good thing. Momonosuke is not going to like it. No one in Wano is going to like it. This could lead to one of two things. One, we get a Marine-focused final saga. Forget about Blackbeard. Forget about Shanks for a while. We focus on the Marines. They have been a big issue. They are the biggest issue to Luffy currently. Like, they are actively pursuing him as a criminal. Or, Ryokyugyu is not an actual threat. He is, even though he is talking all this big game, he actually has intention of coming in here and kind of telling everyone, hey, yo, Blackbeard's an issue. We can't spend time wasting time on Luffy, okay? I'm gonna kill you, and then I gotta go deal with that idiot Teach. I doubt that's it. I doubt it's the fact that Teach is suddenly a big worldwide threat to everything. Yes, his main goal is to take down the world as we know it in One Piece. But that does not mean that we can't have a Marine-focused saga, or at least an arc. Give us at least a few arcs after Wano Which, I'm going to bring up the fact, we can technically get a post-Wano arc now. Like, give us chapters off Wano, none of the Straw Hats, none of our people that are here. Give us, like, very similar to what happened a while back. We get to see everyone's hometown. We get to see everyone and how they react. It would be really nice. We might be able to see how some people have matured. We might be able to see, like, Nojiko, Makima's baby, which, if one of my personal theories is correct, could hold so much more weight. Like, we can get that. And then we can actually see, like, that can be our explanation for what happened at the Reverie. Is Sabo dead? Was one of the members of the Alabasta family killed? Was Sabo captured? Are we looking at a Marineford 2.0? What is happening? That is what I personally want. Yes, this is the end of Wano, and we are going into the final saga / arc, the final chunk. But we can technically still get a post-Wano arc. It would be out of the Wano arc itself. It would be its own separate thing, is what I'm trying to say, basically. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really have to say. Fucking, I didn't say it. Ryokyugu looks fucking cool. I really like his design. He has a tattoo that has this whole fucking meaning behind it that the TCB people put out. Apparently the kanji read death, river in mind. The suicide river in mind. But, like, it could also be read as a suicide pact at the river of death. It could be a reference to a song, and then the song has a story, then there's a movie. Bro, the tattoo has so much meaning, basically. So, and apparently, because Oda does this a lot, Ryokyugu's design is based on acclaimed actor and music artist Harada Yoshio. His name, Aramaki, comes from the 90 film Ronin Guy, where Harada plays a drunk, lecherous Ronin of the same name. This film also features the actors who are inspiration for Kizaru and Fujitora, as well as a character known as Bull. The character's climax involves a redemption for Aramaki as he struggles to save a prostitute named Ocean from being executed by a corrupt samurai. The execution method involves bulls as well. So, basically, also, Aramaki is a pun on seeding, hence the power thing of flowers. So, this guy could have potentially, like, not twisted motives, but more selfish motives than we've seen from the Marines thus far. He could be in this for his own, I don't know. It's too early to guess. I'm just going off the name. Maybe he lost a lover or something. I don't know. My guess is a girlfriend, fiance, boyfriend, whatever. His significant other was killed in a pirate accident, and now he's a Marine to get revenge. That's my rough theory for his backstory. But yeah, One Piece is going on a 4-week break, which is a month. I should say month. But very interesting things are happening in a week, and I will touch on that in a separate thing. Okay. So I don't know if that video is going to come up today, tomorrow, anytime soon, but I do want to get it up before the thing happens in a week. Basically, if you like this kind of style of me going through the chapter bit by bit, thinking on it, chewing on it for a while, you're gonna love what happens next week. Because, boy, you think this double feature of One Piece is a lot? Wait till you get the double feature of Berserk. Woo! But, yeah, if you like this double chapter review, again, sorry that it was this way. It was 2 chapters in one. I didn't really get a whole lot of time to think on 1052. But, yeah, if you liked my thoughts on the chapters, my possible ideas, my theories, even though I didn't talk about my theories, if you liked anything about the video, make sure to hit the like button. If you want to say anything, hit the right little comment. You know, I get notifications for those. If you're new here and you like this kind of video, I'm really scatterbrained if you're new, so I go bit from bit. I probably forgot something about Buggy I was going to bring up, probably. But yeah, I think that's it. So until next time, in 4 weeks, stay safe, have fun, and read more manga. But not One Piece, because it's going on break for a month. Okay, guys. Bye.